Is it?
I'd like to start the Land Use Committee meeting, and if everybody on the Land Use Committee could do a roll call vote and let me know that you're here.
Sure. Yeah, I'm
Carolyn?
Elena.
Okay.
So I am present in the room. This is Elena Brugos. I'm the select board member of the Land Use Committee.
Peter Coffin, I'm the representative from the Conservation Commission.
Gary Iderola, Planning Board.
And they're all in the room with us. Carolyn Barthel is not here yet.
Okay. Thank you.
Just make sure we acknowledge the meeting on the recording that the meeting is being recorded.
Yes. Right. So I believe I said it. I don't know if Anne should also say it.
The meeting is being recorded.
Thank you.
Fantastic. We'll be thorough. All right. So welcome everybody. So in addition to the Land Use Committee meeting, this is also the information session about the Community Choice Power Supply Program. And we have here guests from Colonial Power who are going to be Colonial Power Group, who will be telling us about the program and answering questions. Just very briefly, I know just quickly the who, the when, and the what, and the why. So like who, so Colonial Power Group is they are our consultants for this process. Who else is here is the Land Use Committee, a Mendon Town Committee who has also worked with energy issues. The what they'll get into in detail. The why is to both save Mendon electricity users money and also have the opportunity to buy into more green energy options, but they'll get into that a lot more. And the when, I think that those questions will also be answered. There is, people can opt out anytime. There's an initial opt-out deadline of August 20th that some people had questions about, but that is just an initial, it's not stopping at that date. So hopefully all of these questions will get answered in much more detail as they present. So I would like to start off by introducing from Colonial Power Group here. We have Denise Allard, we have Mark Capadonna, and Joseph Capadonna. And so if you could take it away, and just a reminder to everyone in the room, please make sure that you're facing the microphone, and I will do the same. And for those of you who are online, we will please, you can use the little hand to raise your hand if you have a question. And anyone else in the room who comes in, we will ask them to use the microphone, or we will do our best to repeat questions into the microphone so everyone online can hear. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Mark Capadonna. I'm with the Colonial Power Group. We're here to discuss the municipal aggregation program for the town of Mendon. Pretty exciting time. So what I'm hoping is if people are on basic service, they would have received an envelope that looks just like this. That would let you know that you are on basic service and that you have a choice to make coming forward. A choice about what? A choice about the supply portion of your electricity bills. National Grid is going to continue to deliver your electricity. This has to do with the electron running through the wire. The town has gone out and brought you three choices that prior you never had in the marketplace. The one hot button item I want to make sure that everyone understands is if you receive this envelope and you do nothing, you will be automatically enrolled in this program. By automatically enrolled means that you will now you'll be enrolled into the standard product. Inside that envelope has a notification form that has a bunch of choices here for you to make. But if you do nothing, you'll be enrolled in the standard default product at 14.450 cents per kilowatt hour, which will save you money compared to National Grid's basic service rate. That will be 16,055 starting August 1st. This program will begin on your September meter read. So everyone's slightly different depending on their meter read, and that's on your bill. If you have questions, we're happy to answer it in the office, but you'll see this actually on your October bill, we use energy first and then we pay for it. And when you go to pay for it, you'll see that lower rate on your bill. It will say, in this case here, it's going to be direct energy and then Mendon Ag. That's how you'll know that you're part of the program. As I mentioned, that product comes without doing anything. But I can tell you, you can be very proud of your town because the town has set up some, what I would consider to be some excellent options at a very competitive price. So if you decided, hey, listen, that's a little steep for my pocketbook, and that 14,500 and that 14,450 is something I can't afford, on this notification form, you could go online and make a choice for an optional that would give you the exact same renewable content as basic service. So if you don't do anything, you're actually going to get a little bit more renewable energy in your energy. You don't need to do anything, but you get 10% more local energy at a lower rate than National Grid. Say if that was a little too pricey, you absolutely could opt down to say, I'm going to get the exact same mix as National Grid, and that price, 14,020. So if that was something you wanted to do, and then for the customer that might have a little bit more elasticity in their budget, you absolutely could opt up to a 25% more, and you'd be paying 15,080. So for slightly more, just quickly, about a half a penny more, you could get 15% more local renewable in your energy, still saving money vis-a-vis basic service. So inside this envelope, it has all of the information that you might have, and I'm going to run through many of the questions you may have on that. This is the first describing, here's the program, this is what we're going to do, so forth and so on. This is on, the second sheet is on the default. This is the default product. If somebody wants, if they opt into one of the other products, that will be sent to you after you opted in. This card that I want to show next. If you don't wish to participate in this program, we could not have made this any easier. All you need to do is sign this card and send it back. There's already a stamp addressed, a self-addressed stamped envelope that you just simply put it in there. All the consumer notification stuff, meaning it's all protected. It doesn't cost you a thing. You can send it back. Adding on, as long as you do that before August 20th, you'll never be enrolled in the program. But say you just want to try it for whatever reason, and you say, I'm going to see how this goes. At no point in the future can you not opt out. Meaning, the following month you can opt out. The month after that you can opt out. So I don't want you to think, oh, I got to opt out of this before it ever begins. There is no. You can opt into this program and opt out of the program at any time without fee or penalty. So if you think, I'll just take the savings for a little while and see how it goes, that's a complete option with this program. If you don't wish to participate for any reason, and you don't want to be included in the original enroll, please sign this card and send it back immediately so that you won't be enrolled in the program, and you'll never, not that you can't join later on, it just, we won't enroll you for the September meter read. It's that simple. If you wanted to go online so you don't have to use the USPS, you can also go on colonialpowergroup.com and go right to choose Mendon and opt out of the program there online, or you can call us at 485-5858 extension 1. Simply talk to someone, they will opt you out of the program. It is very simple. This is a town program that we're not looking to hold anyone in. This program is for the town. It's truly about choice. Choices that unfortunately Mendon hasn't had in a few years due to the department's slow ability to turn this around. But moving forward, I promise you these products will be out there in the marketplace and allows you to go back and forth. Meaning, if for some reason next year basic service drops to 6 cents, it's not going to, but if it did, people could opt out of this program and opt back in. And for some reason we have another invasion or upheaval geopolitically in the world, and basic service rates again go to 25 cents. Anyone can opt back into this program and find safety in this long-term deal. I should have mentioned before, all three of these products are good from right through from September of 24 through September of 26. So for 24 months, this is locked in, and you don't have to worry about prices going up or down as you do with National Grid. As you can tell, you're paying 18 right now, and then you're going to be coming down to 16 until that February timeframe. Just something to think about. There was one other card in here I think that you should just know about. This card is just to show you the renewable energy content in each one of the products over the term. If people are interested in that, it's a very important card, just showing you how much more renewable you have than is required. It's a wonderful option the town has offered here. Other things that are on this opt-out notice that I think are important. If you're on a budget bill, you have automatic withdrawal. You get a discount for farm discount, low income discount. You have solar panels. All of those programs are utility programs, and they're going to stay with you because you're staying with the utility. Nothing that the utility does is in any way going to be affected. So if you have a low income discount, you'll keep that discount. If you want to participate in Mass Save, you have the ability to do so in this program. Any of those things are going to stay moving forward. The town is contracted only for the commodity piece, and that's the electron running through the wire. Another question we get all the time. So when we get a terrible winter storm, which doesn't happen often anymore, but say we have one. National Grid is no longer in the business of generating electrons. So they just go out to the marketplace and procure energy just like the town did for you right now, but they're not able to do it as often or as long, so forth and so on, Advantage Town. But when the power goes out, who's going to come fix it? National Grid. And they're indifferent to where you're getting your power. They're a big proponent of these aggregation plans because you're able to use the marketplace more effectively than they are. So National Grid is a proponent of these programs. Again, if at any time you wish to go back to National Grid, that option is always yours. And from my perspective, when prices were 33 cents, it would have been wonderful for the town to have this option in place. Unfortunately, the department was not working with the town at that time. They had their own issues there. But now moving forward, these options are going to be here. They've created stability and what I'll say is savings, as well as options from a green nature. I think that these.
I think the only other thing we want to mention is if you did not get a mailing in the mail, if you did not get the envelope that Mark raised up, it might be a couple of things. It's likely because you're already signed on a third-party supply contract with your own supplier. So you've already contracted with a Constellation or a Direct Energy or someone else, and you're already in a contract. We wouldn't want to slam you, the town wouldn't want to slam you into this program. So National Grid did not include your name on the mailing list that went out, but you can certainly opt in when your contract is over or before the end of your contract. We just warn, please read the fine print on your current contract with whichever supplier you're with. If there are any early termination fees, you want to be aware of that. You don't want to get hit with a $100 fee for leaving that contract early to join the town's program, but you're certainly welcome to join the town's program at any time. You can call, like Mark said, you could, same way you opt out that Mark mentioned, you can go online, you can call, just have your National Grid bill handy so you can give your account information and you can get enrolled. But you might also have one other thing is you might have a supplier block on your account. Like National Grid allows you to put a block on your account so you don't get any marketing materials sent to you. If that was the case, you also wouldn't have been included on the mail list. So you'd have to remove that block with National Grid, and then you can opt into the program. But you can certainly join. Nobody's being excluded. It's just who was automatically enrolled versus who would have to actively opt in.
Thank you. I see a question from Jeremy.
Please.
Yes, thank you, Mark. For those of you who haven't had a chance to meet me yet, and I haven't met you yet, my name is Jeremy Stoll. I'm the town administrator for the town of Mendon. So Mark, you brought up a point about solar panels, and I've had some resident questions on solar panels. So I just wanted to drill down on that a little bit so we can provide some clarity to residents. If a resident currently has a on-bill credit, net metering credit, and they switch their supplier here, I know they will continue to generate that on-bill credit, but with the balance that they currently have, will they keep that balance even if they switch suppliers?
Yes, they will keep the balance. 100% they will keep the balance. So I'm just going to get into the weeds a little bit here, Jeremy. So the way it will technically work. If you're using energy, you're drawing it off the grid. You're not actually generating it. You're going to use it at the aggregation rate. So right now, you're, in what I'll call a win position, because National Grid is going to credit at their basic service rate. That's 16 cents. But when you're using the energy, you're only going to be using it at the 14-cent town rate. Okay, so that's a win-win, right? So whatever you're generating electricity, that's at 16 cents, you're using it at 14. I just want you to know that if it ever happened that the aggregation rate was above the basic service rate, just the opposite would be happening. You may want to opt out of the program. You would then be, every time you are generating electricity, you'd be generating at a lower rate. When you're using it, you'd be using it at a higher rate. Again, it would be small, but I just wanted you to be aware that situation exists.
Yes, thank you very much. And I was very clear, and I think folks are very clear on the eligibility going forward. I just wanted to make sure that individuals with solar panels would not be at risk of losing the credit that they built up over many months or years through their supply. So thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. More questions, though. That's really what we're here is to make sure everyone gets any questions or concerns answered tonight so that they can feel good about the aggregation plan moving forward. People must have some questions.
One more that I've gotten from residents. So the opt-out nature of the program, is that how did we get to that? Was that a decision the town or Colonial made, or was that based upon how the statute and legislation is structured?
Another excellent question. So unfortunately, and fortunately, that's the way the statute is written, but it is without it. So the way energy works, we could do an opt-in aggregation at any time. We wouldn't need to wait for the Department of Public Utilities. But I want to state that we're very fortunate that the people that wrote the legislation understood the way energy works, because much like the third-party supply, they don't know how many people are going to opt in or not opt in. So over time, all of these suppliers know, and they can tightly price the electricity. It's a benefit that it's an opt-out aggregation. So if we had an opt-in aggregation, and I'm just asking you, Jeremy, because you happen to be the gentleman on the hot seat right now, is how much energy would we buy? How many people are going to opt in?
Yeah, not nearly as many.
Not nearly as many, and we don't know how much, so there's going to be a huge risk premium. With an opt-out aggregation, we fully know, all the suppliers, not us, but the suppliers know what they can expect, and they're able to price it the exact same way, even more advantageously than they can basic service, because basic service has the risk of a customer leaving at any time. It's the service of last resort. So it is the right way to have it. Unfortunately, for the people that don't want to participate, it does require you to opt out, but we've made it as easy as we possibly can, Jeremy.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Internally, questions? Good.
I think the other thing I just wanted to mention is folks who don't pay sales tax. Anyone who doesn't pay sales tax, and I think folks who don't pay sales tax on their are acutely aware of this, right? So a church or if you got the letter, you know that every time you switch a supplier, you have to send in your tax exempt form to the supplier so they don't charge you sales tax. It's not set up easily in Massachusetts where it just transfers from supplier to supplier. It isn't kept at the utility level. So there is on the form on the back, there is an address where you can submit your tax exempt certificate, just so everyone's aware, so nobody gets needlessly charged sales tax if they are tax exempt right now. So.
It's another question online.
Great, yes. See.
I mean, I guess, thanks. I guess are we gonna need to do that for the town accounts as well?
I believe the town accounts are already on a third-party supply. They're not currently part of the aggregation. They could be part of the aggregation.
So I only can speak for some of the ones that none of mine are all on basic service. I know the town has some net metering, I think, because I know we get a whole stack of those notices. But I guess, do we need to file our tax exempt for every one of those accounts?
Yeah, that's exactly correct. Yes.
And if it's easier, we can get you our email address. You can send it to us. We can, if you list the accounts, we can just get it to the supplier. If that's easier for the town, we can talk offline and do that. So you don't have to, whatever works.
Yeah, we're more than willing to help out from a bulk standpoint. Most people have one, maybe two. the town may have many accounts that are still, on basic service. We're happy to help out with that. More questions?
I guess one other thing is, I don't want to get ahead. I know we're still on launch, but like what happens after the 2 years? Right? What the rate is fixed for 2 years. The town is now in a position where at any time in those next 24 months, we'll be watching the market every day. We're in the market every day. The town will notify the town if there's a drop in electricity. The town can now go out at any point in those 2 years. It's not like National Grid where they're mandated by DPU to go out on certain dates twice a year and secure energy for 6 months at a time. We'll watch the market. We'll be in constant contact with the town, and you can contract at any time for the September 2026 end date going towards the future. If there's, some cheap electricity to be had, we can certainly contract, but the ball's now in your court. You don't have to wait until the end of the contract. But certainly when we get towards the end of the 24 months, the town will make another announcement about what the new rates are, who the new supplier is. It might be the same supplier. It might be a different supplier. It might be the same term. It might be a different term, right? You're not stuck at 24 months. You can sign any term length you want. So just so folks know, it's not just going to end and you're going to get sent back to basic service, right? There will be another contract after the 24 months, and that announcement will be made by the town at the right time.
And the one thing you should know is you'll be moved across to your appropriate, whatever product you chose, we'll move you over there. You don't need to do anything. We're not trying to make people do anything other than, get greener, cheaper electricity. That's the goal here. It's not to make people, opt in and opt out, other than when you want to. That's the goal here. Make it easy as we can. But for the people that just want to stay in and enjoy the program, that's not going to take much work at all. Actually, none.
And Mark, you mentioned opting out. Just another little tidbit so everybody understands. You can only be opted in or out on your meter read. We don't have smart meters in Massachusetts, so your meter reads are, on a certain date during the month. Usually what happens is you get your electricity bill, you look at it, and you're getting a bill because your meter read has just passed. So your month of usage of electricity has passed, right? So if you want to opt in or opt out, it might take 1 or 2 billing cycles, because if you submit an opt in or an opt out right after your meter read, the supplier, Direct Energy, can't enroll you until your next meter read, right? So depending on where in the month you opt in or out. So that's disclosed when you opt in and opt out, that it might take a month or 2, but just wanted to explain why that happens. So it's only on a meter read once a month. If you're close to your meter read, you'll be lucky. You'll get opted in or opted out right away. But just so folks are aware that that's how that works.
I'd like to make one correction. Our 1-800 number, I said it's 1-800. Believe it's 1866, and then it's the 485-5858 extension 1. Again, 866-485-5858 extension 1. I apologize for the misinformation.
I believe we have the phone number posted on the Mendon Town website as well. We have a page describing the program that I believe links to Colonial Power Group, but I believe it also has this opt-out information. Jeremy, do you have more to add on or a different point?
Yeah, both. So I'll make sure that accurate numbers on our webpage, on our landing page about this community choice program. What I wanted to make sure we had clarity on was that the Mass Save program is wildly popular. Myself and a number of friends and family have taken advantage of it. So in switching suppliers, there's no change to folks' eligibility for the Mass Save program. Is that correct?
That's 100% correct. Still fully eligible for all Mass Save programs.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I think one question that I have that sort of, I think because this is new to a lot of people, can you tell us about, like, I know other towns in Massachusetts have this. In fact, I heard from people in town, like, why can't Mendon do this? Like, I can't remember which towns, but can you talk a little bit about how long this has been going, how your experience working with other towns, just to give a little bit of I don't know, familiarity of the process since it's so new for many of us?
So, yeah, absolutely. And I'll take the first crack, and then Denise will fill in wherever I stumble. So believe it or not, this is not even the first time Mendon has had the program. The program, I think it got started in 2017, and we had a contract for 12 or 18 months. And then due to some market conditions, we're unable to keep the program up and running. The programs have been eligible. This was made eligible through it's Mass General Law 164, 134. It's the Deregulation Act of 1997 that allowed municipal aggregation. The first one was down to Cape. The Cape Light Compact has 21 cities and towns that are involved in that. Your aggregation, the model was developed in the city of Marlborough, and they came live in March of 2007 and have been up and running since. There's approximately, I think the number right now is up to 190 communities that are utilizing municipal aggregation and the protections that it can help. So most people think of it as a nothing more than, oh, I can do this, I can run this program. But lots of times, to be frank with you, a lot of the door knockers won't come to your town then, and the reason they won't come is because when they look on your electricity bill, they're not going to have as low an offer. I will tell you that you will see some extra. We have noticed that there'll be extra mailings to Mendon from third-party suppliers because they know that your program's starting, and due to the insidious nature of these third-party suppliers, they're trying to get you to sign up on their program rather than the town program. They know they can create confusion, and that's what they're doing. But I can tell you that more than the majority of the towns, so there's 351 towns in Massachusetts, 48 of them are municipals that do this. They own the poles, the wires of electricity. So leaving around 300 or so communities, 2/3 of them are doing municipal aggregation. And I expect there's probably another 40 that are, so somewhere around 250 of them will be participating sometime in 2025. So leaving about 50 communities left.
Okay. All right. So we're in good company.
Very good company.
Yes.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any further questions?
I do have another one. Actually, did I hear another? Is there a question over there?
This is first in a series, so you're going to have other workshops on this topic.
Yes. So yes, there will be another in-person. So this one is hybrid, in-person and online, as many of you online realize. And there will be an in-person event at the Senior Center on August 13th during the day. I don't have the time.
1:30.
1:30. Thank you. I knew the time, but I didn't have it in my head. So on August 13th at the Senior Center, and that will be just in person. And then there will be another information session at a select board meeting on August 21st. So the select board meeting starts at 6:30, and this will be at the beginning of the agenda, probably, maybe 6:35, but we'll invite people for 6:30. Jeremy, do I have that information right?
I will verify for you right now. Hold on.
Okay, thank you. So then that is the plan. But in addition to these formal information sessions, we do have access to the representatives from Colonial Power Group to answer questions at any time. So questions can keep coming into the Land Use Committee. They can go to our town administrator, and then people are also can contact Colonial Power Group directly. So we're happy to field questions and pass them along, and encourage you also to ask them. So in an ongoing way. So.
And Jeremy, just so that you're aware, if at any time someone sends you a question, it's a phone call, you can simply call us. Or Jeremy, would you call this customer back, send us an email. We'll make sure that every customer gets called back and fully answered. It's the same thing with the land use. If there's a question you're unable to answer, that's what we're here for. That's all we do is answer these questions 24/7, 365. And we've been doing it for the last 20 years. So we're more than comfortable answering all the questions that come up.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. And just to follow up on Elena's point, so August 13th at 1:30, we are at the Mendon Senior Center. for an in-person session. And then August 21st, 6:30, we'll be back here again in Town Hall in the upper meeting room for another session just like this, where you can also participate remotely. So it's important to note that the opt-out date for the September meter read is postmarked by August 20th. So that last session is after the initial opt-out deadline, but folks can opt out at any time. So we're happy to answer any resident questions, and I'm hopeful that this session answered it answered every question that I had gotten from residents. So I'm hopeful that it answered all the unanticipated ones as well. But if not, we have 2 more opportunities for folks to come in and ask questions about the program. And I thank CPG for coming tonight. This was really informative, and I hope residents found it as well.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
So, Anne, do you have any questions from land use?
I don't.
I have another question because I'm a curious person. Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about where the green energy comes from? So we're getting a higher percentage, like what is the source of that energy?
So I want you to think of it kind of bifurcated. All the energy on the grid is the same.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there's no way it's impossible for us to go out and buy energy, say from a solar array
Right.
or a windmill, and to direct it to your house. So what exactly happens? All the energy is on the grid as long as it's energized, and there's no problem. But to call it green, the supplier is required. The town chose some certain options. There's a 10% and a 25% more green product. So the supplier goes out to the marketplace and they buy what we call a renewable energy certificate for every megawatt that you use, so that in total, think of it, kind of this way. In total, you're going to use so many megawatts. They're going to back that up with renewable energy certificates that are mass class 1. What does mass class 1 mean? That means it's an energy project built in Massachusetts after 1997. The whole goal of this is so we build more renewable energy, and forcing less and less use of coal and oil, number 7 jet fuel, those kind of things that are a little bit dirtier that we don't really want to be using. And that's the hope that the town has embarked on here. We're going to do something that's even greener. The nice thing about aggregation, you can do it greener and cheaper.
And cheaper, right?
Correct.
Great, Thank you.
But just to follow on that.
Yes.
There's not much hydro locally, right? There's 1 or 2 on the Blackstone. It seems to me it's got, and there's not much wind turbine around there. There's 1 in Blackstone or in the Worcester. It's got to be solar, right? Or maybe now off the Cape, is that local green?
It is. So believe it or not, some of the projects that are there. So if a solar array was out of the smart program, SREC 1, it's almost done. Then you'd be getting the solar. And the only reason I'm saying that an SREC is extremely expensive if it's still in the program, about $230, where a wind or there isn't, I'm trying to think here, there is no hydro that was built after 1997, so there's no hydro here.
There is in Rhode Island, very small.
Okay. Very few that you could get direct from. So many of them might be in New Hampshire or Vermont that are qualified. And I will tell you that the offshore wind will qualify. Those are required to qualify. Very small amount right now, a little bit less than 200 megawatts is spinning. You're welcome.
Great, thank you.
So just from a practical standpoint, when I received the letter, I called in and chose the basic option.
Yes.
I made the phone call. They were very attentive. It took probably 5 minutes. Right after I got off the phone with them, I received a confirmation email from them saying that they received my request. And the next day I received a confirmation email from National Grid saying that they received my request. So I expect that when it comes out to the September bill, that I'll be all set. So it was very easy to do. It was no problem, just from a practical point.
Okay, great. Thank you for sharing that experience.
I appreciate that.
No problem.
So I guess if are there any further questions? I know if we think of questions, we can bring them to the next information session. But I think that we probably can, wrap things up.
I'd like to just add, Elena, if individuals do have questions, there's lots of avenues to contact Colonial. But also, if you just go to the Mendon Town website and navigate to the town administrator page and click contact me, or contact the town administrator, you can send your questions in to me and I'll make sure that they're answered at the next session. Or if you leave your contact info, I'll make sure Colonial gets to you. So we're providing a lot of avenues for folks to get their questions answered. Everything that's been asked of me so far, we got some answers tonight, and I'm going to reach back out to folks. So reach out to me, reach out to Colonial, reach out to the select board, and we'll make sure that individual questions are answered and everybody is kind of has their concerns assuaged in this.
Thank you. And yes, there was a nice comment about that somebody needed to leave, thanking everyone who made this happen. So yes, thank you, all of you who made this happen. And yeah, thank you, Jeremy. And also, I don't know if you mentioned the land use committee is another resource for questions. So that being said, I think we can wrap up this information session. The land use committee, I believe, still needs to formally adjourn before we get to the end of the recording. So I think I would like to thank you so much for coming. Mark, Denise, Joseph, as well as the land use committee, and Jeremy, thank you for being here as well. And thank you all, those of you joining us online. Thank you for being here. And then I would like to hand it over to Anne, if you are ready.
Yep.
Okay.
Would someone like to make a motion to adjourn the land use committee meeting?
Motion to adjourn.
And maybe actually,
Second.
since it's hybrid, maybe say your name just so she can know who said it. So
Barry Iderola, motion to adjourn.
Peter seconds.
Second,
Peter seconds.
Peter Coffin.
Yes.
All right, all those in favor, do roll call vote, please.
Peter Coffin, aye.
Barry Iderola, aye.
Elena Brugos, aye.
Ann Mazar, aye.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Frank Nero's there.
All
Thanks,
right,
everyone.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Good night.